Welcome to the pilot episode of our Valiant Wild World. If you're listening to this, you are a loyal patron, and we very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much. For a little background, this episode is the very, very first episode that we recorded. I know I say it later on in the podcast, but this episode was recorded in January 25th of 2019, which is insane, given the fact that we wouldn't launch the podcast until July 2020. Crazy, but here we are. We really like this pilot episode, even though the whole point of it was to really test the waters to see how well we would do in this format. We found ourselves very much laughing at some of the facts and goofs that we produced out of this. I mean, hell, some of Felicia's very favorite bits come from this episode. That is crazy, but just shows you how much we have fun doing this and how much we hope you enjoy listening. And speaking of, this is where I'll let you get to it. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoy. And hey, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the prototype episode of a brand new podcast that we'd like to call Our Valiant Wild World.
We are your absolutely idiotic inexperts, Austin and Felicia, and
you know
we're
it.
Yeah, I do. Thanks. I know my own name. And we're here to bring you absolutely probably true facts about this fantastic little ball that we float on in space.
Jesus Christ, I hope these are true facts, otherwise we could be sued, and I'd rather not that.
Well, that's why I said probably true.
Okay.
Just
legal disclaimer here.
Legal disclaimer, we're stupid. We did as much research as we could, but we may be wrong.
We may be in wrong.
Do not take anything we say in this podcast as serious unless you've done your own research.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please do your own research for the love of Christ.
We tried our best, but come on, folks. We don't get paid for this.
Not yet. But that's another time.
That's another podcast.
Who would like to go first? Who would like to say the very first fact of the show? Well, technically, fact point, the first sixth of a fact. This is the prototype episode.
We're counting each fact in this as a sixth, so that this whole episode only counts as one fact.
Look, I didn't think of the math. Okay, I shouldn't have said anything, but I would like to point out that, again, this is the beta. Like, these aren't technically the first facts, even if they kind of are. It's Schrodinger's first fact, okay? Leave it be.
Okay.
Well, who would like to go first?
How do we decide who goes first?
Oldest first.
That would be you.
I know it is. You didn't have anything for me, so I'm just going with it.
I didn't know I was supposed to prepare anything.
Well, I just meant in which order we wanted to go.
Okay, fair enough. We probably should have figured this out beforehand, but
yeah.
You can go first.
Oh boy, okay. Alright, we're gonna start off with a relevant one. Thank you to Kayla May of the Anime News Network. The premise behind Kingdom Hearts, considered a risky venture by Disney at the time, was initially greenlit with the only condition being the absence of the company's icon, Mickey Mouse.
That makes so much sense. Kingdom Hearts 1 makes so much sense now.
Yes, because in the final product, he's only allowed to be shown from the back, unlit, and from a distance. He's essentially the magic plot device.
And that's exactly what he is, because he, spoiler alert, only shows up at the end.
Are Kingdom Hearts spoilers even legal? Like, it's a 15-year-old game. I should be real here. I think all content should have spoiler warnings just because not everyone can, enjoy every single piece of content ever. However, let's be real here. The plot of Kingdom Hearts is kind of a mess.
I mean, you're not wrong. We have games released after games that come before games in the plot line. And, okay, look, guys. I'm a fake Kingdom Hearts fan.
Wow!
I just appreciate a good game where I get to slap some anime guy in the face with an oversized key. I am also a fan of getting to hit Disney villains in the face with an oversized key. Kingdom Hearts gives me both.
That's valid. You are valid.
Thank you.
I mean, theoretically, I would be interested in two. I just don't know where to start. I mean, I know where to start.
Not with Kingdom Hearts 1.
Well,
Kingdom Hearts 1 is not the first game in the time continuum.
I know, but I've heard contextually you should play them in order of release.
Yes. Not gonna tell you that that's gonna make your understanding of the plotline any easier. I personally have only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and nothing makes sense. Nothing.
It's a spaghetti of a plot, honestly. It's just all that seems like.
It's not spaghetti, okay? It's spaghetti if spaghetti is that absolute disaster that Buddy the Elf makes in the movie Elf. You've got spaghetti and syrup and a whole Pop-Tart in there.
Oh god, I have I totally forgot that Elf existed, even though back in December I was getting bombarded with news stories that they were doing a claymation remake on NBC, and people were not okay with it. They didn't even have the actual main actor from Elf. Who is it again? Is it Steve Carell? That's not Steve Carell. Nope.
No,
I retract that. It's not Steve Carell. I know it's not Steve Carell.
Is it Will Ferrell?
I think it might be Will Ferrell. Yeah, I think it is Will Ferrell. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine a fucking Elf movie that's just Steve Carell?
Kind of. I've seen every one of the Despicable Me movies, so I assume that it would be something like that.
You know what? It might be. Except, there would be no minions because minions had not been invented at that point, and as such, the world
Bold
is
of
still
you
free
to
of sin.
assume that the other elves would not also engage in animated hijinks such as the minions do.
Okay, but the minions are highly targeted pieces of propaganda. Elves are just common folk.
Elves are not common folk. They're Christmas propaganda.
But everyone...
Elves are Christmas capitalism propaganda. They exist to serve their boss and do nothing else all year except for serve their boss and create things for him to take all the credit for.
You're not wrong. You know what? You're absolutely not wrong.
No, I'm not.
I should have expected it, but I never thought I'd hear the words Christmas propaganda. But you know what? That has existed literally since Christmas has been invented.
I said Christmas capitalism propaganda.
Okay, that's fair. Is there a difference, though? Honestly? I mean, I know we like the things that the spirit of Christmas is about giving, and I do agree with that, but let's be real here. In the corporate world, all it means is sales, 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 money, money, money.
You're absolutely right. The only non-Christmas propaganda is the one international Santa. I meant Santa.
Santa?
The one international Santa that leaves coal in evil children's shoes.
I think that's just been relegated to Krampus at this point.
I want to say then that makes Krampus anti-capitalist propaganda.
Yes! Can we...
Except for he literally had his own movie.
Krampus is a comrade.
Comrade
Comrade Krampus. Oh my god. He just carries around a hammer and sickle at all times. Those are his tools to dismantle the capitalist propaganda.
And your spine.
And your spine. Don't forget the spine mangling.
Okay.
Wow, we
Spine
went from
mangling.
we Kingdom Hearts to Comrade Krampus. Okay. You want to go?
I do, and actually, speaking of Krampus...
Oh god. Oh no.
Thank you to the Barnes & Noble Classics edition of Dracula for informing me that Bram Stoker... sorry, I mispronounced his name. Bram Stoker, the author of Dracula, was probably gay or bi, and his wife was asexual.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Bram Stoker had a really huge crush on Walt Whitman growing up. Like, penned the man letters and stuff, talking about how much he wanted to, quote-unquote, be friends with Whitman. And then he quit his job to go be the acting manager for an actor named Henry Irving, who he was basically married to. And also he was lifelong friends with Oscar freaking Wilde.
Really?
His wife, the asexual, actually was courted by Oscar Wilde at one time and then married Bram Stoker. And the granddaughter... Her granddaughter specifically describes her as anti-sex.
Wow.
Dracula is LGBT because the author and his wife were LGBT.
That's so valid. I'm glad that we have another fictional bicon. We always need more bicons.
A fictional and a real bicon.
Wait, Dracula's real? Excuse me?
No,
Excuse
Dracula... Excuse me. Dracula is the fictional bi-icon.
Okay.
Bram Stoker is the real bi-icon. And actually, his love story with Henry Irving has a very sad ending.
Oh, no.
Yeah, mainly that he produced a stage version of Dracula because he really wanted Irving to play the lead, Dracula. And it was like all the monologues that Dracula has are straight up Irving's alley. And he basically told Bram Stoker that Dracula was trash.
Oh, no!
And Stoker continued to work for him and love him and dote on him. And Irving didn't even mention him in his will.
This is a tragedy. I'm actually kind of emotional here. Wow. Oh. Oof. What do you even say to that?
Henry Irving, if you're out there in the ether,
I was honestly
fuck you.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I honestly thought you were about to say, if you're still out there, like, just claiming that he's one of the immortals. Like, sure, why not?
Oh, Lord. He doesn't deserve it.
Continue.
No, that's it. That was my fact.
No, but you had something else. I interrupted you.
Oh, I said Henry Irving, if you're out there in the ether, fuck you.
Well, don't get fucked. I think that's the big thing here.
Yeah.
I mean, first, good LGBT representation. That's fantastic. I mean, Dracula is a sexy motherfucker, and he deserves to be treated like the sexy motherfucker that he is.
Actually, according to the book, he's ugly as shit.
You know what? I don't really care. All that matters is what's inside, and what's inside of me, because he clearly wants to suck my blood, and that's okay. He is valid.
Yes, Yes, he is.
Although, I'm not actually really thinking of the Dracula of the actual novel. I'm actually more or less thinking of the super hot Dracula
Oh, you
that's
mean...
in the Castlevania series.
Ah, one of the many iterations of fantasy Dracula.
You're right, and let me
After Dracula got into the movies, he basically turned into ugly old Batman.
You're right.
That's two separate words, bat space man, not to be confused with actual Batman.
I miss when Dracula used to look like Nosferatu. Those were the good days.
Actually, Bram Stoker's wife sued over Nosferatu, claiming that it was copyright infringement on Dracula.
Oh my god! Really?
Really? She didn't win.
Oh. Well, I mean, I honestly don't know anything about Nosferatu. All I know is that
It's German?
all I know is that it's fictional, that it's a name of a move in Super Smash Brothers, and that he appears quote unquote in SpongeBob.
Multiple times, yes. Especially in the episode The Hash Slinging Slasher, when they're
Hell yeah, that's exactly what I'm referencing. Nosferatu.
Yep.
But like, what even is Nosferatu? Is he just?
It's a vampire story.
He is a vampire. Oh, okay.
He is a vampire.
Okay.
An ugly vampire.
Well, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Who I
I'm not
think attempts to turn people into vampires.
I mean, I'm not calling Nosferatu sexy. Like, he doesn't deserve it. Clearly.
No. So, actually, I don't know what Nosferatu is about either. I don't even really know what Dracula's about, because I haven't finished the book.
That's fair. But I mean, it must be good enough to leave a cultural impact, such as him.
Well, actually, the reason why it's so popular is because of the movies that were... Well, it's actually quite popular because it was quite popular as a book, to the surprise of literally everyone.
Vampires were invalid until they were on the big screen.
Well, as a book, too. There were like 2 or 3 other books about vampires before Dracula, but Dracula was the one that really, like, kicked it off.
Makes sense.
And then Bram Stoker wrote other books.
Really?
He wrote other stuff.
Okay.
He has like 8 books, but the only one that ever took off was Dracula.
I suppose that makes sense. I mean, not every author can have all of their works be famous. It is the author's curse. You will only ever be known for writing an ugly vampire, the granddaddy of vampires.
You know what? There are worse things to be known for. I mean, you could be known for writing 50 Shades of Grey.
I mean, I love how that's topical because I was originally just Twilight fanfic, but yeah, it's not a very good moniker.
No. Also, I'm sorry that my one fact turned into, let me tell you all of these facts about Dracula.
No, you're fine. I mean, I was interested in learning about this man and learning about the impact that Dracula had.
Yeah, so next time you read Dracula, just remember, that shit's gay.
Don't you ever fucking forget, vampires were then, now, and always
vampires are inherently horny.
I was gonna just say that they are now and forever LGBT culture. Like, there's just no denying it. That's what they are.
Okay, yes, that too. But also, vampires are inherently horny.
You are, in fact, correct. Let me suck your dick.
Hey girl, may I lick your chest?
I want more than one fluid coming out of you tonight.
We're gonna have to make our podcast explicit.
this was I always kind of thought this was the case.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on.
Oh, wait, we swear we have to mark it.
Yeah, we swear. Like, honest, if a child is listening to this, first of all,
stop.
Stay in school, because we cannot be your teachers. Second of all, stop. I would rather not get an email from an angry parent saying, "You corrupted my child with your not safe for work vampire porn podcast." Jesus. There would be a parent out there. I can't wait.
Oh, I know. I know there's a parent out there.
I can't wait for one day for our podcast to have a Moms Against Our Violent Wild World Facebook page.
Oh my god, if that happens.
If that happens, that will be the second happiest day of my life.
Can we just do a whole episode that's just reading the posts?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm down for that.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. May I go?
You may.
Okay. I'm gonna butcher this name. But thank you to my OSIN V of Reddit. Today I learned. After many studios refused to finance Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it was instead financed by the rock stars Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Genesis, Jethro Tull, and Elton John, who all simply thought of it as a good tax write-off.
Man, classic rock was a lot more charitable than I remember.
I mean, for the most part, rockers are pretty cool.
Well, also, Elton John, man.
It is, in fact, Elton John. I cannot believe that a literal producer of Monty Python and the Holy Grail is just Elton John. Like, I could not believe that.
I think that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Imagine you can say, "I worked with Elton John."
You can. However, I think the Monty Python group was already pretty popular at that point, so it's not like... I mean, it's still a cool thing to say,
so
but it's
Elton
not like
John can say, "I worked with Monty Python."
Yeah, I guess you could. This is an additional fact, but it's not necessarily the fact of the day. I mean, talking about the budget of Monty Python, the reason why the ending happened so abruptly is that they literally ran out of funding. So they just decided, fuck it. We're gonna just end it. We're gonna just not have the big climactic scene that we're going to. That's it. End of movie. Done.
That's on the level with Deadpool. We ran out of the money for guns, so we're not going to use guns in the final fight scene because we don't have enough money for them.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
That's why the guns are left in the bag in the taxi.
You're totally right. And you know what? I'm so glad that Fox gave them more money for the sequel. And, I mean, and hopefully we get another Deadpool movie. But, you know, Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
know. We'll see.
I don't think the PG-13 cut of Deadpool did that well. So...
No, because it was a PG-13 cut of Deadpool and Deadpool 2.
I think it was just Deadpool 2, but...
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
But, okay, still, it was a PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2 where they stole the outside story of the Princess Bride to tell it. I didn't see it. I'm just going off of the trailer. Again, we are the inexperts, guys.
You cannot forget
right there
that.
In the name.
Look, we might have facts written down, but honestly, otherwise, we're just brain dead. We do not know what we're doing.
Hey! That is an insult to the 2 brain cells I have.
But anyways, yeah, I don't think it did that well. In fact, I read that it's doing very poorly in China, just because, I mean, Deadpool is an American film. There's not a really good way to understand it if you're not at least adept to American Western culture.
Okay, so it didn't do so well. Oops. Well, we'll see. No, wait. No, wait.
Wait.
Did they acquire Deadpool? Because technically, I think Sony still has Spider-Man rights. That's why Sony Pictures Animation did Into the Spider-Verse, and why Spider-Man the video game is out on the PS4.
Well, no, they have all the rights in terms of the only rights they don't have to are the film rights, because Sony has them, but everything else they own.
Then that gets weird though, because they do have Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Well, those are collaborative efforts. They wanted
okay.
They wanted to include
I get it
Spider-Man
now.
in the MCU, and as such, they decided to go to Sony
Worked
and
together with Sony.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm right. The only Marvel property that they do not have the rights to is Spider-Man.
Technically, so this is actually where it gets really tricky. They own Spider-Man and his villains. In fact, that's the reason it's really interesting, because Kingpin, aka Wilson Fisk, is actually in the film rights. The film and TV rights actually belong to Sony. So in making the Netflix Daredevil series, they had to collaborate.
I love it.
I do love it, and I also love...
Thank you, Sony, for keeping Disney honest. Mwah. Big kiss to you. I sincerely doubt anybody who works at Sony is listening, but
I wouldn't kiss Sony,
bless.
But I guess I'll thank them.
They did make Into the Spider-Verse, and
You're right. You're absolutely
they're
right.
keeping Disney honest.
Oh, what do you mean by they're keeping them honest?
I mean that they're giving Disney a taste of their own medicine. Oh, you want our rights? You have to let us work on it.
I suppose that's fair. However, if the Fox merger is going to go through, what's to say that they just don't, buy out Sony?
What's to say that they don't buy out Sony is, hopefully, American antitrust laws.
Hi, welcome to E3, and I'd like to present to you the Disney-Sony PlayStation 5.
You know what?
Pre-installed are all the Kingdom Hearts games.
The PlayStation 5 are not... Oh, I was going to say the PlayStation 5's not worth it. Then you said comes pre-installed with all the Kingdom Hearts games. No, wait. Kingdom Hearts is technically owned by Square Enix.
It's a little trickier
that whole
than that.
situation okay.
It's a little trickier
That whole
than
situation confuses me, actually.
I
have gone over it many times.
I believe Square Enix is the owner of all the original characters that are in the game and the Final Fantasy characters. But otherwise, It all belongs to Disney.
Got it.
Yes.
So Square Enix owns Sora, Riku, Kairi, and every single Final Fantasy who's a what's-it that's in there.
Hey. There's Cloud Strife. You can't forget about Cloud Strife. Cloud Strife is not a nobody. He's literally one of the most popular video game characters of all time.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah, what's up?
The only time you see Cloud in the Kingdom Hearts games is when you fight him in the battle arena at Olympus.
He's still in the series. He literally exists in
He
Kingdom Hearts.
doesn't say anything. He just beats you up.
Yeah.
Unless you beat him up first.
Cloud's English vocalization is weird. There's a reason. I don't really know, but I know, for example, in Smash Brothers, Cloud Strife does not have an English voice actor because Square Enix is very stingy with their rights to him. So he only uses the Japanese voice actor. So it's probably the same thing in Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. Square Enix is a very weird company.
But why would Square not include the English voice actor in their own game?
I really don't know.
He's just not one of the Final Fantasy characters that got chosen to be an important character.
He's not an important character in Kingdom Hearts, but it's probably just fan service. First of all, it is the first game in the series. They probably wanted a way to...
No, honey. It's the first and second games. For a fact. He only shows up in the opponent arena.
Well, yeah, but they probably wanted it as an Easter egg and also just to say, hey, Final Fantasy, buy the game.
Well, there are actual speaking Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, like, I think Sephiroth and Squall are in it as well. I know Sephiroth is. I don't know about Squall.
Sephiroth is a bad guy.
Of course he is.
Squall's name is Leon.
What?
And he's a good guy. They changed his name to Leon.
Why'd they change his name to Leon? What the hell?
I don't know, but they changed his name to Leon.
He's goddamn Squall. Final Fantasy VIII. The hell?
And Yuffie's there.
Yuffie, okay.
She's a good person.
I do know that, yeah. Well, I didn't know she was in, but I know she's a good person.
Yeah, she and Leon and some country girl in a pink dress.
Aerith?
I think so.
Does she have like a bow and brown hair?
Yeah.
That's Aerith.
Yeah. They're three of the good guys.
Got it.
Sid with an S is a shop owner.
I don't know which Sid that is. For all I know about Final
He's big and buff and blonde.
And blonde?
And blonde.
Yeah, I don't know.
With stickity uppity spiky hair that's in like a blue. Why am I describing him? It doesn't matter. You don't know Final Fantasy.
I know. I do know some Final Fantasy. I know 3, 4, 5, 6, a little bit of 7, and a little bit of 10. That's all I know. And also, people really love the characters of 15. That's it. And there's cars in 15. Wow, I'm relearning a lot. There's cars in 15.
Yeah, there's cars, because isn't that like Modern Rebirth AU?
I have no idea. I've never played 15.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm honestly more interested in the classic Final Fantasy series than I am in the modern.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You want to go?
I will go. Okay. So, in addition to killing TGI Fridays, paper napkins, and razors, the millennial generation has also killed breakfast cereal.
Oops. Guess there's no more cereal.
Well,
you want Cocoa Pebbles? Fuck you! Go eat dirt!
No, actually, cereal companies really want you to eat them. But people just aren't eating cereal. They're trying their hardest. And so, as of 2017, 5 years between 2012 and 2017, there was an 11% drop in yearly sales in that time period. And between 2017 and 2018, there was a full 5% decline in yearly sales. So I have a list here of why millennials don't buy cereal. And I want you to guess what the 4 reasons that CNN and Business Insider say are why millennials aren't buying cereal.
The big one that's on the top of my head is the death of the mascot?
No.
Really?
Mascots have nothing to do with it.
These cereals are not nutritious?
Yes. Actually, one of the reasons is that they are too sugary.
Yeah, they really are.
And they're not healthy enough. However, because of this and this feedback, most cereal companies have been trying to back down the amount of sugar and use more natural colors, flavors, and sweeteners. Okay, you've got 3 more.
3 more. Okay.
3 more.
Wow, I'm really not sure. I mean, honestly, the nutrition and the death of the mascot are really all I have in mind. But, less advertising?
No.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I've got nothing, honestly.
Okay. So, one of the reasons is that the boxes are smaller and have less cereal, but they cost more.
Of course they do. That's just how capitalism works.
It is, but that's part of why millennials aren't buying cereal.
That's valid.
Also, a lot of millennials are saying that it isn't a filling breakfast. You aren't full after eating a bowl of cereal. Or you are, just not for long.
I'll assume that is true because I'm not a cereal person.
I know you're not.
Look, no, I wasn't about that. Talking is hard, and sometimes you just say words that sound like other words.
This is true. Do you want to know what the final and most BS reason that Business Insider says that millennials aren't buying cereal?
No more prizes. There are no more prizes.
No, it's not that there are no more prizes.
So there's still prizes in cereal.
Sometimes.
Okay.
No, Business Insider says that part of the reason why millennials don't buy cereal is because we have to clean it up afterwards.
Yeah, I suppose that it could get a little messy. I mean, not everyone could be like a perfect little special kid like they want to show on the commercials where they just dump it right in. It goes flying up in slow motion, and when you pour the milk, it's all good. There's no mess. Like we can't be these kids, Janet.
Actually, honey, they mean that it requires you to use a bowl and a spoon, which you have to then clean after you're done using it. Because Business Insider says that millennials only want foods like Pop-Tarts and fast food breakfast sandwiches where you don't have to clean anything. You can just, like, throw a wrapper away or something. Which, personally, I think is, wow, you're really putting all your eggs in this millennials are lazy basket, huh?
You know what?
It has nothing to do with the fact that to sit down and eat a bowl of cereal requires a time commitment that you just don't have with Pop-Tarts or a fast food breakfast sandwich. You can eat those on the go. You can't exactly fill up your bowl of cereal and take it with you on the bus.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, you can get a little Tupperware and have a spoon.
This is
inside.
true, but a lot of buses don't let you eat on them, technically.
Well, I don't understand your point here then, because if you're not allowed to eat, if you cannot eat the cereal on the bus, like, are you not allowed to eat any food on the bus?
Okay, you're not, but let me put it this way: you can eat a fast food sandwich while walking to the bus.
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
You cannot do that with a bowl of cereal unless you want to spill milk all over the place and or want to stab yourself in the face with the spoon a bunch of times and or have a plan for what you're going to do with your nasty bowl afterwards.
That is fair. I understand that. I mean, so I'm not gonna knock millennials because we are two sets of millennials.
Oh no, I'm trying to knock Business Insider for saying.
Oh no, I understand that. But what I'm about to kind of make a point here, it's that, I mean, it's not our fault. It's not our fault, but we should definitely start considering having the wrappers that we have be biodegradable instead of...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe, you know what? No. I mean, my point is true, but I'm gonna move on, because why don't cereal companies just advertise their cereal bars more? Because those are the things that millennials will want.
Well, that's what some cereal companies have been doing. Like, so Quaker Oats technically makes cereal. They make Quaker oatmeal, and they make Life, the cereal, which I haven't seen a single person under the age of 50 eat, but whatever. When they were talking about their sales and their products, they solely focused on their Quaker breakfast oatmeal bars. So more and more companies are actually finding that most of their sales are coming from their cereal bars, and that's the direction that the market's moving. But the one thing is, while it's moving towards breakfast bars, actual cereal is technically being killed slowly. That's what the up-and-coming generation wants. Because we're so busy and on the move, we need something filling and quick. And it's just how it's gotta happen.
I'm glad that they're realizing that their market is shifting, because, they have to at this point.
They have to, or they're going to die.
Yeah.
So you wanna do your third thing?
Sure thing. All right, thank you, Rick Harrison of Pawn Stars. This was found on Reddit. Today I learned by a deleted account in which Rick Harrison states that pimps buy jewelry from pawn shops because when pimps are arrested, their cash is confiscated, but not their jewelry. As such, when they sell it back to the same pawn shop, they know exactly how much they're going to get back, which is exactly half of what they originally paid. As soon as the jewelry is sold, they use the money for bail.
Okay. So, pimps are going back to the 1600s, where we're using gems as a form of currency.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. These things aren't just for show.
No, they're using pawn stores as a form of currency. I stand corrected. That's amazing.
It really is. I mean, I'm really fascinated that they're not just for show. Although, because not a lot of people know this, I mean, like, whenever you see a pimp in, like, media, they're just wearing the jewelry, but you'll never understand why, except it tries to make them look fashionable. I mean, to be fair, some pimps might think it might look fashionable, but their main reason is because they want to get out of jail free card on their ring, on their fingers.
That's brilliant, actually. They have created their own sub-banking system.
You're totally right.
The nature of humanity is that every so often it just invents a banking system again.
You're totally right. Except this case, we are living in the 21st century. Pimps are simultaneously living in the 16th century and the 31st century.
You're correct.
I can't wait for one day when I can just go up to a counter, put my finger on the desk, and go, "I'll be taking a cheeseburger, please." Although upon retrospection, that's scarier than having a credit card.
Having all of your money be in jewels on your person?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, but think about this. How many people are stupid enough to try and rob a pimp?
I'm gonna need the crime statistics on that. How do I even go about that? Yes, police, I'd like to see your reports on how many pimps get robbed a year. What? I said
I don't think that pimps get robbed all that often, because I'm just saying, doesn't seem like the wisest idea.
It really doesn't. And, like, this is, of course, just my media divulgence in the stereotypes of pimps. But pimps seem really fucking fierce. Like, I can only imagine pimps with, like, canes that they don't need, but they use for whacking.
That's exact. And it's got that big old diamond gold monstrosity on top,
right.
Like one of the old orbs that you see in the coronation photos of, like, English kings and whatnot.
Now, the real question here is, do they use those canes also as currency, or are they both currency, weapon, and stability?
Depends on the pimp.
I guess you're right. I mean, if you're a pimp with back issues, you gotta have a cane. But also, I mean, if you wanna just slap a buyer who's not paying in full, gotta have a cane.
Yeah, you're perfectly correct. You're right.
All I'm imagining now is just this grandfather pimp who has a cane to go, You better pay me in full, you whippersnappers.
Oh gosh. Are you too old? At what age do you think pimps retire? Do pimps retire? Do you never stop pimping?
I'm gonna guess about 70. Cause like when you're like in your 60s, you can probably still be pimping and it's not gonna hurt you. But like when you're 70, you're just gonna want to go to a beach in like Boca Raton or something. I'm not even sure if that's a real place, but you know, they'll just want to chill out in the Caribbean after their long, long years as a pimp.
Yeah, so all in all, pimps only work about 5 years longer than the national retirement age, which I think is 65.
You're right, they do.
I think the national age for retirement and getting your benefits is 65.
Pimps are the oldest service workers in the industry. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. I regret saying that. I think it's funny, but I regret saying that.
Fair enough.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right. You want to go?
I will. Okay. My last thing is that the painter Michelangelo really hated painting the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, I know about this.
Oh, no. Did you know that he didn't even take the job at first?
Yes.
But do you know why?
He hated the church?
Close. He hated the specific Pope, Pope Julius II, because the Pope already owed Michelangelo money from when he renovated his tomb in 1505.
Wait a second here. This ain't adding up. Are you telling me that Michelangelo owed the Pope because the Pope asked him to fix up his tomb?
No, I'm saying the Pope owed Michelangelo because he didn't pay him for renovating his tomb.
So the Pope went up to Michelangelo and goes, Hey, buddy. Sorry for not, paying you for your job, but I do got another one. I can hook you up if you want."
Yes, he literally found Michelangelo outside of Rome. He left Rome because of the Pope owing him money. Okay.
How does that make any sense? What? Oh, God.
Okay, it took them a full, year to actually, work out what Michelangelo was going to do because Michelangelo kept saying no. And also, so eventually what they worked out to was Michelangelo basically got to do whatever the hell he wanted.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you know this, but the ceiling got painted because when Michelangelo was commissioned, all of the walls already had paintings on them.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Michelangelo painted 6,000 square feet of ceiling.
Oh.
It took him 4 years.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh my God.
During that entire time, Michelangelo spent the entire 4 years that he was working on his back, painting up above his head.
Oh,
and what's even worse was he was on scaffolding, and what was even worse was the entire time Pope Julius II was in there threatening Michelangelo because he was taking too long.
Buddy.
He kept threatening to throw Michelangelo off the scaffolding, and one time he threatened to hit him with a stick.
Buddy, you don't have any of the playing cards here. You're the one who gave him this job because you owed him. You can't be threatening the person that you literally owe. That's just not how this works. Pope Julius, what the hell?
There's more drama. Michelangelo's two biggest rivals were already working on the Sistine Chapel, or were already working on St. Peter's Basilica, which is where the Sistine Chapel is.
Got it.
They had what might have been considered better projects. One rival was the chief architect for the renovation of the basilica, and the other rival, you might recognize him as a fellow Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Raphael was doing paintings in the Pope's bedroom.
Huh. Okay, well, thanks for
What
telling me the plot
Michelangelo
of
renovated-
TMNT in Time. Thanks.
What Michelangelo painted is basically, so it used to be where the Pope did his personal church stuff,
Okay.
but now it's where they choose the new Pope.
Got it.
So Michelangelo really, 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 really hated it. He hated it so much that he wrote a poem about it and sent it to a buddy in Florence. And this poem is, okay, I just want to read you the last stanza, okay?
Okay.
My painting is dead. Defend it for me, Giovanni. Protect my honor. I am not in the right place. I am not a painter.
Oh, the amount of drama that first line conveys just sets up
Honey,
the entire
that's
thing
the last
perfectly.
line. That's the last line. If you want to know what the real first line of the poem is, so this is from 1509, okay? Michelangelo was only 1 year, a quarter of the way through painting the Sistine Chapel. The opening line of his poem is, I've already grown a goiter from this torture.
You know what? Big mood. If I was an artist who actually did commissions and like I got a project that I absolutely hated, I'd probably feel the same
From
way.
a guy who still owes you money.
This is like Obama asking me to paint the White House, except I'm having to paint him in the nude and touching Jesus, and I'm not sure how I'd feel about that.
If you're like Michelangelo, you hate it with a burning passion. You hate it so much.
I mean, Obama's a pretty cool guy. I would hope that he wouldn't be like levels of douchey that Pope Julius had, apparently.
This is true.
No, all right. Let me rephrase this. It's not Obama who I'm painting. It's Reagan who I'm painting.
Okay, even though Michelangelo really hated this, he did actually finish it, and it looks amazing. The entire ceiling shows what is basically the first few chapters of Genesis. The creation of the world, the creation of man, the fall of man, etc., etc. But he didn't hate it enough to never work in that space again, because closer to the end of Michelangelo's life, a completely different pope commissioned him to paint basically a picture of the Revelation
Okay.
on the very back wall by where the altar sits. It's called The Last Day of Judgment.
I honestly thought you were about to say it's the Last Supper, and I'm like, excuse me?
No, Last Supper is someone else.
It's not a Michelangelo original. Got it.
It's not Michelangelo.
It's actually Raphael. They covered this in TMT in Time, of course.
No.
Let me have my dream, okay? Let me write TNT in Time fanfic. It's legal.
You could do that on your own time, but not on this podcast, you ain't.
And now, a poem by Austin. Oh, TNT in Time. How you went back to the Renaissance and painted all of the famous paintings. And as such, you created a time loop where all of your names came from all of you. The end.
Is this an 80s cartoon? This sounds like an 80s cartoon.
This is a cartoon from 2002.
What?
I'm not kidding you. Also, TMT and Titan is literally not about going to the past. It's the turtles being stuck in the future. But I'm just having fun with it because I've only seen one episode of it, and that was because I was hanging out with the grandson of my next door neighbors. We just sat and watched like one episode for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to see this because I want to know what the hell's going on.
I mean, it might be on Hulu. It might be on Netflix.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either, but
Who owns
Alright.
TNT? TMNT? That's a good question.
uh,
That's a fact for next time, folks.
no, I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. Maybe it might not be anymore. I watched the 2003 movie TMNT.
Oh,
Which
sweet lord.
I was half convinced that I had hallucinated seeing it in theaters. I did see it in theaters.
Oh god, I saw it in theaters as well.
It is exactly what I remembered.
All I remember is that there's like a tragic ending. And there were aliens! There were aliens!
Yes.
I forgot that there were aliens. Oh my god.
There were aliens and talking statues.
I honestly think that we're never going to get a good TMNT movie. Like just straight up, there will never be a good one. It's just people have not been able to adapt the property into film. There's been at least 9 movies, and like I think the only one that has a good consensus is like the very original one.
I haven't seen the 2 newest Ninja Turtles, mostly because those are not turtles. I don't.
They're not turtles. They're abominations. Did you know that they were actually supposed to be aliens at first, not turtles?
That makes their character design make so much more sense.
Doesn't it? Don't quote me on that, though. It's been years since I read that. It's probably true. It's Michael Bay.
It's Michael Bay.
It's Michael Bay. I'm pretty sure it's Michael Bay.
It's Michael Bay.
It's Michael Bay.
I think it's Michael Bay.
All right, folks, I think that'll do it us for here. Thank you all for listening to this very special prototype episode of Our Valiant Wild World. Any last thoughts, darling?
Can
you say cowabunga for me?
No, wait, there's something very important we have to tell people. We have a Twitter. And a Tumblr. And a Patreon.
We do, but this is the prototype episode, and only people who are bonus patrons will be listening to this, so they probably already know.
Oh. We also have a cat.
We have a cat!
Her name is
We
Maple.
have a cat.
There we go.
There we go. All right, thank you so much for joining us, folks.
Thank you guys so much. I know this is just a bonus episode, so you guys are hearing this probably like way in the future.
I would like to note that this is January 25th, which is
2019.
of 2019, which is literally the day that Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. That's why Kingdom Hearts was in this. Of course, why not? Anyways, thank you all so much for listening, and thank you for being out of this world. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Oh, wait, do I do the cowabunga thing now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cowabunga, dude.
Good night, folks.
Good night, folks. That's all, bitch.